to my channel where I discuss the Power Platform. Today's video is going to be an introduction to Power Automate. This is meant for beginners who may want to know what Power Automate is, what kind of cool things can be done here. So we'll be creating some Power Automates from scratch. If you haven't already done so, there is also a video out there on the introduction to Power BI and the introduction to Power Apps. So I do urge you to check those out as well. So this video, we're actually going to utilise a list that we already produced for the introduction to Power Apps video. So what we have is a very simple Sharepoint list here with a few grocery list items. Now the reason I start from here, and I'm not going to talk you through how to actually create a Sharepoint list, is I can see this automate button up here. So here it's actually allowing me to produce some Power Automate straight from here. So what I could do is I could set a reminder when that date is going to arrive. So it's going to open up and it's going to allow me to actually, it's going to just ask me to sign in, etc. But once I've done that, I'm going to continue and I'm going to create a flow directly from here. So I'm going to get an email reminder, remind me a day in advance when this date is approaching. So I'm going to create that. I'm going to be bombarded with a few emails, but of course I can switch these off. Okay, so what we'll do is we'll have a go and have a look at the Power Automate and see that flow. Let's go in here, look at my flows, and we have this get an email reminder, which is great. So it's created it for us, and we can edit that and have a look. So all of these things have been created by Power Apps for us to use. So we're going to actually have a look at some of these steps, and we haven't had to create it ourselves, which is amazing. So our first step here, so the way Power Automate works is that it's a series of workflow steps. So you have steps that are triggering other steps and so on and so forth. So we have a look at this recurrent. So the first thing that's being set here, and I'm actually going to click on this edit item here to have a look at how that looks, is I want it to run at 3 o'clock every day. I could change that. Okay, so maybe I actually want it to run, let's say, let's actually go for monthly. So I only want it to really run monthly. So I'm going to save this instead. And then I'm using this build table rows, and it's essentially building a table. It's thinking about how many days in advance to remind me in. It's going to get my profile. It's going to look at all those items which have a day left. And here it's telling me that you couldn't set a reminder, and that's because there are no days, there are no items in there which has a date of tomorrow. We'll create a flow from scratch. So we're going to create this from a template, which is a great feature of Power Automate. You can select a few kind of predefined Power Automate templates that you could use. So if we have a look through here, what I want today's weather forecast for my current location sent to me every day. Okay, I'm actually going to use the Flow app within here to do this. We'll create a flow here and we'll have a look. Okay, you see that's built it for us as well, so we can have a look at how that runs. So as soon as I click a button in my Power App, if I can get the forecast in the US, this is just the set here, then I'll get a push notification in the actual app itself. Okay, which I can get from the Play Store on my Android. And I've got this get today's weather forecast for my current location. I can click that. That's going to fire off this flow. So we can have a look at that. We can see the run and see what's actually happening. And as soon as that happens, I get told I've got a high of 15 degrees and a low of 7 degrees and a chance of rain. So now we get a push notification, and that took us maybe less than a minute to set up. So let's actually create a flow from scratch here. So we'll do it from, not from a template this time. So it's great to actually learn how to do this from scratch. So we'll do an instant one. So that means that something needs to click it, and we'll call this test v2. And we're going to use the flow button again from the mobile application, and we'll create that. So I still want to get the weather, so I do want to look at the weather. I want to be told every time I click that button, I want to know what the weather is, but I'm actually going to get the forecast for tomorrow instead. So there we are. You see it's getting quite dark where I am right now, so hopefully the weather's good tomorrow. So the location I'm going to use is, I'm just going to find that for my country or region. I'm going to set that into Imperial. Let's have a look at that and see what we get. So once that's done, I want a push notification, so I want to be told. So I'm going to say send me a mobile notification. I want the text to be a day summary, so the summary that we can get, and I'll click save. So that's all done. Now if I come over to my mobile application there, give it a little refresh, you can see I've got this test v2, so that's really quite small there on my phone. But if I hit that button on my flow, so actually I'm going to have a look at the Flow application on my phone. So I've come onto the Flow application and I can see that I can use this test v2 button which I just made. So if I give that a click, then I'll be able to see that flow running on my phone. So you've got watch for scattered rain showers, it'll be a high of 60. So that's run fine there. So apologies if it's a little bit pixelated there, that's just the application that I'm using. But hopefully it gives you a better idea of exactly what's being done there. Getting started with Power Automate, one of the best resources I found out there was actually Sharepoint by Peter Veenstra. He's got some amazing links, really start getting you an idea of what's a flow, how do you start creating flows, what's a connector, what the custom connectors are. There's some flow designers and how to do business processes and approvals as well. So approvals are a big part of flow. So for example, if you want to fire off an email to someone which says, can I do this or can I not do this? And that's a great feature of Power Automate as well. So I urge you to check this website out. It really helped me when I first got started with Power Automate. So I really hope you enjoyed that. I really hope you enjoyed that whirlwind tour of Power Automate. This is only really the start of what can be achieved, and there'll be a lot more videos out there on some of the more advanced features. If you haven't already done so, there's a Power BI and a Power Automate and a Power Apps video even out there already, so do check them out. Let me know what you think, and do subscribe if you want to see more. Thank you very much. Have a great day wherever you are.